So we are live with our first time doing some historic Brawl as opposed to modern. Wanted to really do this last week to be on theme with the deck we're playing, and that is the Easter Bunny's Revenge. Unfortunately, it was a quality time down at my in-laws, but we were down at my in-laws last weekend and really didn't get back in a timely manner to try to do this. So, those of you who might have seen our first video with the first sliver and Tybalt's trickery, I've kind of opted for more of the, for lack of a better term, going casual. We've been doing modern for the most part for about 8 years now on the channel. And while I'm still doing modern content over on the MTGA Nexus Red channel, mainly the Burn, Prowess, Zoo variety, the main channel is moving away from modern content. A couple reasons. One, my passion with Magic has been getting more and more casual over the years, whether it's been Commander, Brawl on Arena. It's just really hard to continue to keep up with metagames, and it's a young man's game, and I'm an adult now, so it's kind of hard to. No, all joking aside, both Modern and Pioneer have been, more Modern has been more difficult to keep up with, whether it's the card collection, whether it's the meta, the time to play. When leagues take upwards of 2 hours, and you can't just play it on your phone. So it is kind of hard to, just continue to keep up on things when you don't have a ton of time with adult life, whether it be being married, job, etc. Family, friends, what are those? We're switching to Brawl. I know there's a smaller audience for Brawl in some regards than Modern. I know there are some Brawl content creators out there like Amy the Amazonian, CGB, dips his foot in the pool, Legend VD, which I don't even know what his name stands for, but my lord, does that sound like a very bad thing to be talking about. But, there's some other smaller channels that I'm going to try to, get into watching their content a little bit more, but wanted to kind of do something on theme for Easter, and that was Baylen the Haymaker. Now, this obviously has been out for a little while. He's a Naya-colored rabbit, and we're building around Baylen, and there are many different things you can do with Baylen. A lot of people opt when they're doing Baylen going for infinite combos. We're more going for, on theme, the little powered common called Heir Apparent, which, much like rabbits in general, the more you play them, the more they make more rabbits. If you don't get that joke, please ask an adult sometime in the future if you're a kid or a teenager. But this is very much a on-theme token deck. I tried a couple different builds of this. There was a build with even more copies of Heir Apparent. Heir Apparent's one of those weird cards that allows you to play, multiple copies even in a Commander deck / Brawl deck, which we're playing. Yeah, it just, the one I played before had like 40 some, and that was just way too many. I find you want more cantrips in the deck, abilities for your rabbits to reproduce while drawing you cards. So things like Dekashli's Honor, Bygone Bishop, Caretaker's Talent, all these different things that allow you to draw cards as your rabbits are doing what rabbits do. But beyond that, you're just trying to find ways to increase your tokens, gain a little bit of life off your tokens, and disrupting your opponent along the way with things like Esper Sentinel, Mana Tithe, Reprieve, Thraben Charm to disrupt different things, a little bit of acceleration with Arcane Signet, Pearl Medallion, Patchwork Banner. You're doing a lot of different things with this deck, but mainly you're just trying to let rabbits do what they do in nature, which is reproduce a lot, and then use Baylen to take advantage of all the tokens, either for a bunch of mana, for a bunch of card draw, or just to make a very large Easter rabbit and bash your opponent's head in. To that end, you also have a bunch of token doublers, Mondrak, you have Doubling Season, Elish Norn. There are some arena-only cards, which gets a little bit testy for some Magic players, you know, especially the traditional boomer Magic players only want to see paper cards in their Magic formats. So you do have things like Buxton, Decorated Host, beginning your upkeep if you control a tapped creature. Seek a non-land permanent with mana value X or less, directed on attack creatures. Obviously, that plays quite nicely with Baylen himself. But you're just playing rabbits. I mean, this isn't the most competitive Brawl deck you'll ever see. But it's meant to be fun and meant to be in jest. I've had a lot of fun playing it. And so that said, let's start our quest for the Easter Bunny's revenge. Pay no attention to the ghost dad in the corner. As far as Brawl, Brawl has a couple things going on with it, a little bit different than traditional Commander. The one thing about traditional Commander is, oh, see, the rabbits are already out in force. Okay, so gain some life. Gain some life. Yeah, this hand's fine. A couple things where Brawl differs. Your starting life total is 25 rather than 40 at traditional Commander. You're also only playing against one player in Brawl, not multiplayer. Get the Lush Portico because we need as many white sources for our rabbits. We are basically a base white deck. I'm going to go ahead and scry that to the bottom. It is entirely possible. I should have played Case of the Uneaten Feast, but that's fine. I think we'll get Stomping Ground here. Start our rabbit train. So we should have played Case of the Uneaten Feast last turn, but we do get to kind of curve out with Heir Apparent and Case of the Uneaten Feast next turn. So I'm not as worried about it. Little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest. Oh crap, they made some more. That's just kind of what rabbits do. But, yeah, rabbit's gonna rabbit. Okay, we're gonna Baylen this turn. Beat down, beat down, beat down, beat down. Do wonder what my opponent is playing. Okay, Defense of the Heart. That makes a little bit more sense now. So my opponent probably gets to combo us next turn, which is unfortunately something that just happens in Brawl. Tap our tokens. We're looking for another land drop. Nurturing Pixie isn't terrible, I suppose. So Defense of the Heart basically says if your opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice it, go get things out of your deck that are mean and nasty. And I assume they have some type of 2-card combo that just kills us. But that is Brawl. If they don't have 2 things that just kill us, I don't know that green has too many things that wipe the board. So, what do you want me to say, hon? Rabbits are going to do what rabbits are going to do, and I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible. So my opponent goes and gets Galta, goes and gets Titan of Industry. They get to put a whole bunch of things in play. So they get to do what rabbits do, only they get to do them with bigger things. Okay. Oh my. My opponent has big butts and cannot lie. And they're about to draw 1 billion cards because they can't be denied. I think my head's supposed to explode at this point. I don't think we're... Oh my. Yep, that's the portal. That's a portal to we die. Oh, great. I got you two going. Yay. What do rabbits do, Foz? They procreate. We'll put it in... They procreate. A lot. Yes, I was trying to make it a little bit more unobvious for any kids or teen, well, especially kids that might be watching. Use magic terms. Populate. Great. I'm playing with rabbits and my wife sounds like a chicken tonight. Alright, so we're against Rocco Street Chef, which is... You just want to keep... Until the end of the turn, they play that card. Whenever a player plays land or exile, put some kind of target creature and create a food token. We only have one of our colors of mana. I think we can gamble with it for now, but it is possible we're supposed to mulligan towards multiple colors, you know, since Baylen has more than just white. Alright, so my opponent gets to put an extra land into play. Commercial District. Oh my. Well, I don't know that we're winning the, we're not joining any rabbit games this game. One of the things about... Okay, so we can only get... Because it's marsh flats, we have to get a plains. We can't get a... So we'll get that for now. We can't just get a stomping ground, which would fix our mana for Baylen, basically. This is one of the things about the format, is people can do some broken things. And alright, so there's an Elishnorn. We'll keep that one on top. So we make some rabbits. Play the pixie. Not going to return anything with pixie. Our opponent's going to have a very big chef. Guess it stands to reason if they take their if they test their own cooking, that they will get very large. So, do I block? I don't think so. Making some curly fries for supper. Obviously we have to play this out. I guess we're going to answer the age-old adage, who gets bigger, the rabbits or the chef? Who am I kidding? That's not something we usually test. Uh-oh. Okay. So... Now, the most important question, Foz, is do you do homemade or do you do store-bought and then just heat them up in the oven? What's even funnier is if I wanted to troll my brother, I could right now because he's on Arena playing. Don't know what he's playing, but he's playing. So they blew up one of their own lands? Oh, I guess it's lethal. If they play one more thing from... Yeah. Opponent blew up their own land, and we can't block this turn, so we are dead. Yes.
Have you ever tried to cut a potato to make it curly?
No. I was just making conversation. Too busy getting watching my rabbits get their butts whooped.
Need to populate.
Yeah, I'm populating then dying. Sounds like I'm Black Widow's partner.
Well.
Alright, now this will actually be interesting because one of the other things I'm kind of working on is seeing Jeskai Waymaster. I think we're going to try a different hand. This hand certainly does the rabbit thing, but we have 2 lands that deal less damage, and yeah, we'll try this one. So hopefully we draw an untapped land and we can just start jamming rabbits. Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. Wife thinks I've lost my marble season. Oh wait, that's just every day. Maybe we still get another white source. We make wabbits. So, Narset obviously is from Dragonstorm. They play a bunch of... Their objective is to play a bunch of things in a turn and kind of go off. It's curious to me how well they... yeah, we'll keep some rabbits. We'll keep some wabbits around. There aren't too many free spells on Arena, so I don't feel too terribly bad about attacking with this. There's no, like, mutagenic growth or anything that can really punish us that I'm aware of. So... The Iron Crag. You know, I give my opponent credit. They're doing something that's utterly ridiculous while we're over here messing with rabbits. So... Eternal creatures, mana value, graveyard 2 or less. So if our opponent happens to blow up our board, we're going to have a whole lot of rabbits coming back. Oh, should have played around auto tapper being auto tapper here. And my opponent folds the army of hares before them. No, I will not make a harem joke. So a couple other things about Brawl. Obviously, It's an arena-only thing, so you're not going to see all of the cards from Magic's history. You see a lot of the... They've printed a lot of powerful things into it, but you're not seeing, like, Force of Wills, Force... I don't think Force of Negation is legal. So you don't have all the tools that make... Oh, we're up against a 5-color Progenitus deck. This should be interesting. Progenitus is usually just a 5-color good stuff deck. So, I think we'll play with this. Lead on Esper Sentinel, punish our opponent for playing things. Use that instead of playing our rabbits, because we're probably going to want to play rabbits after Bygone Bishop. Growth Spiral, draw a card. Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. Alright, so could cycle Eagles of the North. Could play Captivating Bishop. If you were a starting player, enters tapped. We were a starting player, so anything we do here is just going to come into play tapped. So, alright, leaving that on top is not a terrible idea. Don't get as much value off the scribe, but we'll still keep it. Sure. Opponent had to blow their load. We just play Bygone Bishop. That pass. Traditionally, Brawl is a little bit more interactive than Commander even. Number one, because it's one-on-one, so it's more akin to a standard or a modern game where your opponent's just going to be trying to play on curve and, you know, answer your stuff while doing their stuff. The other thing about it, obviously, you know, more interaction, lower life totals, one-on-one. So there's a lot of it that's different than traditional Commander, and then obviously Commander is usually more of a multiplayer game rather than a duel format. Oh no, Easter Bunny down. Yes, I'll put him in the command zone. Doubling season. In doubt, get it white, I guess. So we'll play doubling season to set us up in the future here, but quarter jalapeno makes juice spicy. Oh, you two are going off on a tangent again. My opponent brilliantly does their thing. It's 5 damage to a target, then you draw 5 cards. Okay. They shocked it in. Interesting. Player Genesis, sure. Okay, I'll draw a card. the old rabbit. Don't know how we're beating another sweeper, but it is one of the downsides of rabbits. One or two good exterminations, and they're usually struggling to repopulate the world. Yep. One of my wife's favorite cards to play in Commander. Farewell, goodbye board. So long, farewell, rabbits are all gone. The Progenist is usually just a good stuff deck. Just going to go ahead and scoop it. We is done. We could try to play on, but we're just a little bit too far behind after that farewell, and our opponent has infinite mana, and usually the Progenist deck plays a bunch of bombs and just kind of goes bomb diggity. And apparently we're also getting a cooking lesson. At least they're not talking about rabbit stew yet. Never had it, I'm sure it is. Alright, Aragorn can go a couple different ways. This is usually a 4-color good stuff deck. We'll keep this hand. We have the 4th mana if we need to. We can disrupt our opponent's mana buildup, perhaps. Plus, we have all 3 colors of mana for Baylen. Tastes like chicken. Sure it does. I have no idea. Alright, so my opponent is fetching. They're doing nothing. I guess they're just trying to get some. On MTGA it would be F6 value, but okay, so we have plenty of white. Need another red source. Does someone just get Elegant Parlor here? Wabbit season. Hey, bro, I also see you're on Arena. Go and attack first, see if they go to block. Didn't figure they would. So, draw a card. It's only true once a turn, yeah. So... Draw a card. Alright, beginning your own step, if you control a tap creature, see a non-land card, no effects or less start the number of attack creatures, that card onto the battlefield. So we can make more rabbits. Using Baylen as so make 4 more tokens. do that. Do that. Green, green, green. All you need is green. Alright, let's do this. Do I have enough things? Yeah, okay. Tap that. You seek more rabbits. Alright, let me try this. Get a little bit closer. Hopefully that's better. He's up. Wow. No, if I was super focused on what rabbits do, I would not be on stream right now. Target creature you control. Fart. Oh. I swear that said target creature you control farts target creature you don't control. Apparently that's fight. Do they go after my commander or do they go after... Okay, so I guess we can let Baylen die here. Okay, so this sounds like a terrible joke. A cat, a rabbit, and a brother walk into a bar. Or I guess a brawl stream, never mind. This many rabbits, even that cat's going to have issues putting that much down. Okay, do they fight something else? None of the above. You're just the Foz. All right. Surveil. So our playline this turn is going to be War Leader's Call into Heir Apparent. Yeah, we're leaving that on top. It's the final countdown. That's a lot of rabbits. No, no, no. Do, 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 do. We're going to dome our opponent. 2, 3. You know, all joking aside, 1 little, 2 little, 3 little rabbits. Looks like 15 is your current record. Let's see. 10, 15, 21, 26, 27 rabbits are on... Oh, 27? No, I wasn't trying to kill them without combat, but dang, is it funny. So instead of Kill the Wabbit from Looney Tunes, the Wabbit killed you. The Wabbit killed... That's not even funny, is... Kill the Wabbit, kill the Wabbit. No, the Wabbit gonna kill you. I do think this version with a little bit more of the cantripping works a lot better than the version that played like 40-some heir apparents. Yep, we're missing a color, but I'm perfectly ham. Yeah, perfectly ham. I'm perfectly ham, rolling with this color. Apparently the 3 little pigs are getting in on it. Thought husks flinging cats could do some damage. Are we going code names for kids now? Oh, Lord. How many bad puns can I get in one day? I'm not even looking for puns. They're just finding me. All right. Stubborn Burrow Fiend. So it is possible they could place a DC this turn if they're willing to give up their Badger Beast mount. I didn't even know this card existed, but okay. This card becomes styled for the first turn. Mill 2 cards, and this creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Oh my. We're going to get badgered to death. And I'm not even making a punny. Okay, seriously, we're about to have a badger on badger action. I thought my deck was the one populating. That's a really big badger. I guess that's one of the awesome things about one of the awesome things about Brawl is just seeing the awesome things that people do with decks or cards that you wouldn't normally see in like Commander and stuff, just doing unique things with things like Sidisi, Brood Tyrant, etc. So it's just one of the things that's so awesome about Magic sometimes. Though, Badger Beats was not on my... Okay, so this is more of like a value... Yeah, got him! You didn't pay the tithe, good sir, or madame. Uh-oh. One very large badger coming through. Chump block. What's going on over here? Glarb. They left Sidisi in their graveyard. That's terrifying. Definitely leaving the rabbit on top. I think I just play Novice Inspector and beat with my rabbits. I don't know about for the win, but at least for the viral moment. Not even viral moment, just annoying my opponent moment. They left it in the graveyard, which tells me they probably have a way to bring it back Instead work. Create X 1/1 black fungal tokens. Control. Each number. Each one. Next number of times you descended this turn. Oh my. So with some Badger on Badger violence, we might okay. Alright, so this is the best way to approach this. We're going to make 3 tokens, which means we'd only have access to 2 mana currently. So I guess we'll go ahead, play out Thraben Inspector, Chief Inspector, Chump Blocker, Play out this. Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing more little badgers floating around. Great. So the fungus are now going to saddle the badgers. What kind of weird stuff is my opponent into over there? Okay, so they've got a creepy dude called Old Rustine. I wonder what their payoff for all this self-mill is. Just large badgers? Block. Block. Go ahead and blink the rabbit. Okay. The Myco, whatever, is going to get out of hand real quick. Okay, gain some life. Dedicated Dollmaker. What does the fox say? Ring ding ding da ding da ding ding. And I blame my wife for that song being stuck in my head. Well, you see, with the constant badgering, these badgers are currently on roids. And if the roids ever find a way to trample, we are in some serious rabbit stew. opponent's just like a graveyard value deck, it looks like. I don't know if there actually is a combo in there or if they're just doing broken things. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Clearly one of my neighbors outside. Alright, so draw some cards. 1, 2, 3. Draw some more cards. We've got some rabbits. Guess we'll go with the collected company first. Plenty of rabbits. Pass. I think we go for breaking arena with too many tokens. We might just get there. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have any sweepers. I kind of like this token off game we're playing. They're making an absurd amount of tokens with the Myco Tyrant or whatever this card's called. Sounds like it's compensating for not being the Myco spawn. Or Mimeoplasm. 25 rabbits? No, 19... 20... Okay, yeah, 25 so far. Okay, here comes the Badgers. Oh, shite! How did everything get flying? Oh, well. Well, you know, it was interesting while it lasted. I don't even know if I can draw anything right now, but I don't think I have anything like Settle the Wreckage in my deck, but that was kind of hilarious. Damage to it equals the number of creatures you control. Does that keep us alive? It very well might. Still a lot of damage coming in. Wow. Oh my. Well. I still think we lose, unfortunately, but Need to draw like what? War Leaders? The one we played last game that did a bunch of damage. Good as milling. Okay, they're just trying to make more. Top 6 cards, you may put a creature mana value through less than the battlefield, then conjure a duplicate of that card. Space, power, and toughness equal to... Is there anything in my graveyard that's worth bringing back? Not currently. Let's play 3-tree battalion. Nurturing Pixie. Gain a bunch of life. This is gonna be... I think we're setting the record for amount of rabbits so far. Okay, there's some even more rabbits. Alright, 1, 2, 3, draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, draw some cards. Don't think there's anything down there that we can really bring back that I care about at the moment. Alright, so we're unfortunately running out of cards to draw here. Do 1, 2, 3. I should have played Doubling Season first, probably there. apparent like right now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, unfortunately, I just lose here because I went too far and should have cast Dollmaker. So, still a lot of rabbits. Exile their graveyard and make rabbits. I mean, we might have won there. I may have like scooped too hastily, but number of saplings. Yeah, actually, that was dumb. I could have exiled their graveyard. All this crap loses flying, and then we can probably chump our way out of the turn. So yeah, we were actually probably alive because of Thraven Charm, but got too caught up in the rabbits. Oh well. But obviously you can kind of see what rabbits do when rabbits kind of go nuts. So I think we'll play at least one more game. Exile Wonder or just make a lot of rabbits. Alright, so we're up against some type of Enchantress deck. Pretty hair raising. Aren't y'all hilarious? Good top. So one of the differences with Brawl over Commander is Planeswalkers, even ones that say don't say they can be your commander. So I don't know that we're going to beat an Enchantress deck, but we will sure give it the old rabbit try. Portico, we are looking for, yep, that'll do. Other lands, obviously. Start with Heir Apparent. See if our opponent is some type of combo build or if they're more of a just Enchantress Prison build. Guess we'll find out if they ossificate that or something. What on earth? Can have Convoke. You fully unlock a room. Fantastic. We'll get Baylen down for 2. Might be incorrect to get Baylen down here. Maybe we're just supposed to play another Heir Apparent and like do another Surveil land. Because our opponent could easily have some type of prison element for Baylen here. By prison element, I mean like ossification or some type of removal spell like that. Instead, it looks like they're just going for ramp, but then again, their spells do have so we get a green source here. Do I just play the battalion or do I play 2 wabbits? I guess we just play 2 wabbits. Yes, Baylen is a rabbit warrior. I didn't actually keep track of how many rabbits were on that last game, but I think it's probably going to be, unless we get another Battle of the Tokens game, I don't think we're getting anywhere near close to that in this one. Oh, crapola. Speaking of Battle of the Tokens, shout out to my nephew and his Throw the Cat deck. Felidar Retreat. Yay. $76 in total. And these midnight or whatever are kind of scary. Exile target creature, enchantment don't control them. Sure. Turn it to my can't command zone. Yes. Alright, so cannot replay Baylen, so it's either 3-tree Battalion or I think we play 3-tree Battalion. Alright, do that. Make a copy of it. Let's go ahead and wipe out our opponent's Calyx. Opponent either gets unlimited. Oh my. There's nothing. Alright. Enchantress's Presence. That's a terrifying card. Basically, every one of my opponent's things is now going to cantrip. Enchantment. They get another one, which is also... Okay, at least it's not an enchantment. I'll take the 3 and like it. Return to the ranks. We want our opponent to kill the heir apparents. Actually, we didn't want him to kill them all. Oh well. So, return to the ranks. Yeah, I kind of goofed there. What I should have done was play the heir apparent pre-combat, so we'd get a bunch of tokens to convoke out the return to the ranks post-combat. I don't think we're going to win this game anyway, but it would have given us a better shot to pop up a bunch of rabbits at the same time. Yeah, the only problem I have with like Brawl is I try to stay away from commanders that are not commanders and commander, if that makes sense. Like I know it's kind of weird because I play so 4/4/4 5/5/4. I think even if we block the largest one, we're just dead. So yeah, I goofed by not playing heir apparent pre-combat and then returning to the ranks, and then we would have had 9 infinite jump blockers and would have had a real chance there to actually have come back and won that game. So even when you're playing like weird off the wall decks like Baylen, it's a lot of fun to just try to like navigate. Like there was like both that one and the Sidisi deck, I had different lines I could have taken that would have given us a much better chance of winning. And even while there's not much, there's not much on the line when you're playing Brawl, other than, trying to get your daily wins and whatnot on Arena. It's just fun to do off the wall bonker stuff. So, as far as rabbits, I mean, I don't know. There's a whole lot so far I'd change with this deck. Like, the number of lands is a little low in this. There's only 34 lands in this deck, and then there is Arcane Signet, Pearl Medallion, Patchwork Banner. It does feel like it is a little low on mana sometimes. Like, obviously, the thought process is to get Heir Apparent down, use Baylen to kind of cheat on mana. Now, that's tricky because, in Brawl, a lot of times your opponent's going to have a lot of removal. So it is kind of trickier to rely on Baylen as your main win or your main card advantage engine, your main mana engine, etc. Obviously, there are other versions of Warleader's Call like Impact Tremors. While it doesn't give the creature buff, it does dome your opponent out. So there is a lot of different things you can do. Buxton, it is an arena-only card, but it obviously is very good in a rabbit deck. There is no Anointed Procession in this one, but you've got Mondrak, you've got Elish Norn, you've got Doubling Season. Like, how many doubling effects do you really need in a token deck that's already got so many slots dedicated to Heir Apparent? Is Anointed Procession even legal on Arena? Great, bro. Now you got me checking to see where the Anointed Procession. Okay, it is. But I mean, you've got all these choices, plus you have things like Elspeth, the new Elspeth. There's a whole lot of just different things you can try to shove into this deck and, tweak it to your liking. Doubling Season's, kind of the OG. Virtue of Loyalty, giving a night token and +1/+1 counters, untapping them. Virtue of Loyalty, if you get this rolling with Baylen and a bunch of rabbit tokens, just is kind of dumb. Haven't seen it happen yet, but just the theory crafting. Plus, you get to get a 2/2 for 2 mana, which isn't terrible. But, I don't know. It's an interesting deck if you like to toy around with tokens and different things. Has a little bit of interaction. Obviously we saw the one of, what was the name of the card? Patriarch's Humiliation, Patriarch's Humiliation. Apologies, my eyes are really watering at the moment for some reason. Flowering the White Tree to buff the team. We saw a lot of the other cards. Reprieve didn't show up. This one's Scrying. Caretaker's Talent's a heck of a card when you're making tokens. Etc. So, yeah, Cathar's Crusade's legal. There's a lot of different things you can do with Baylen to make it even more powerful. There's that. There's, a lot of the Baylen builds are actually focused on, are more focused on the infinite combos with like Brood Scale, Toski. There's a whole bunch of like different like infinite combos you can do with tokens to make infinite tokens. But yeah, Great Henge does seem out of place. I don't think I've ever actually drawn it in the deck. It's only really good probably with Baylen. So could easily replace Anointed Procession or Elspeth or any number of things with the Great Henge if you want to make that adjustment. So, and you have the weird one, Eagles of the North, which is like partial land, partially Anthem out of nowhere. So, creatures you control get +1/+0 and first strike. So, but I don't know about next week. We might revisit Baylen next week, but I'll probably do something else. But I could try doing some tweaks on Baylen if people want to see that. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Foz, Dale, my lovely wife in the other room, and once again, moving forward, we're kind of going to be working on Brawl a little bit. Or not even a little bit. It's just going to be the focus of the channel. I'm not even going to attempt to soften that blue. We're just done with Modern on the channel for now. If you want to see Modern, go to the MTG Nexus Red channel. Brawl's a lot more fun to me. You know, even if I lose, you know, I'm not losing play points. I'm just losing a little bit of time, and mostly we're trying to do the most ridiculous thing we can. And counting the rabbits and trying to go wider than our opponents going wide and watching the Badgers get really big and hop on top of each other. I mean, there was a whole lot of random highlights in this stream. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. And